Hey guys, it's great to see you again. If you are new here, my name is Bill Benoist. I'm a certified professional career coach in Silicon Valley. In today's video, I'm going to talk about the technical resume. In fact, from a 5,000-foot perspective, I'm going to go over the steps of creating a technical resume example or template that for many of you, that's all you're going to need to move forward. But for some of you, you may need some additional support. So I also want to let you know about an online course that I have called Finding Work That Fuels Your Passion. I cover not only the resume in detail, but also get into making sure that your LinkedIn profile is working for you 24/7, understanding the most common interview questions and best practice answers to those, and even creating a job search strategy. But again, for today's video, we're going to talk about the technical resume. So let's dig in. So all resumes are going to start pretty much the same. I mean, with your name and your address and your phone number and your email and your LinkedIn. But with a technical resume, I would also encourage you to add your GitHub link if you do have one. Hiring managers, technical recruiters will often scan GitHub for looking for quality code and candidates that are behind that code. What is also very common in just about every resume you see is going to be the summary or the professional summary or the professional profile or the profile, however you want to call it. But essentially, the summary is 2 to 4 sentences to tell the recruiter who you are in the present sense, maybe add a value-added statement, talk about your strength and your skills, and what industries and environments you've worked in. So just keep it to 2 to 4 sentences there. The main thing is please do not put something like a job objective. Job objectives have not been used for probably 15 or 20 years. There's no better way to show your age if you're an older worker than to be using something that old, which is a job objective. Again, a summary. So for example, I'm a certified professional coach. Certified professional coach, primarily working with people in mid to late careers, helping them find jobs that fuel their passion. You could be a full stack developer with a passion for leading edge technology. The key is who you are in the present sense with a value added statement. I mean, if you're and now I'm talking about a young person who may be breaking into technology for the first time, and they were previously a warehouse forklift driver. You would not be putting on their warehouse forklift driver because right after that, it probably has going to be, your resume is going to be eliminated altogether. So you want to start out with, what it is that you're going after. So it could be a web developer with a passion for user experience, but the bottom line is 2 to 4 sentences for your summary. Now we start moving into what makes the technical resume a little bit different than your standard typical resumes, and that is your technical skills. So you're going to want to list your technical skills. These are going to be keywords out there. So what are the languages that you know? What are the libraries, the frameworks, the development tools, the methodologies, the databases, anything else out there? So let me give you an example of what technical skills would look like if it was filled out on a technical skills resume. So in this case, you can see where we have languages. We have Java and Python and JavaScript and libraries. We have Mongoose and Bootstrap. Frameworks, different frameworks there, methodologies that somebody may use. This is actually a live example or a true example of some of the students that will come out of the boot camp school. But let's say you're not a programmer. Let's say that you're on the network engineering side of things. Well, then you're going to want to have your Cisco routers and the versions of servers that you've worked with. Are you working with Microsoft Exchange or Active Directory? These are going to be your technical skills if it's not on the software side, but whether on the programming side. But you're going to have this right underneath your summaries. Now, if you're new to the game of coding, or maybe you're within the first 6 months or 1 year, I would definitely encourage you to add some projects. 2 to 3 projects. One project is not going to be enough. Well, it might be enough if you've worked with, you have exact experience in this industry for 6 months to a year, but really you're going to do a lot better with 2 to 3 projects. And so your projects, what you want to do is you want to have the project name, and I would make sure that that name is clickable so it takes you to your portfolio, list the technologies that you've used in that project, and then 2 to 3 sentences that really precisely describe the project. So let me show you how that might look. Here you can see I did an example of a project. You had the technologies used, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, etc. And then I put a description of the project itself, developed app to showcase CRUD design philosophy, dashboard displays list of animals, action menu mirrors CRUD functions, app employs Mongoose. So exactly 2 to 3 sentences listing your technologies used, and I just kind of highlighted these in blue just to show that I'm making these a clickable link. Now we can go back into what I would say the typical format resume, which is the work experience. And this is going to be pretty much the same. It's going to be the standard across all resumes from here on out, which is you're listing your work experience, the company name, city and state, put the dates over there at the right-hand side, right align them. 1 to 2 sentences, scope of your responsibilities, and then list several accomplishment statements. Essentially ask yourself, okay, how do I know I did good job with these responsibilities? So that's what your accomplishment statement is. And as you can see, I put two positions there. It depends on what you have, with your work history. And then finally, we're going to end it with the education, what your college degree is. There's one caveat here that I want to mention, and that is if you are a recent graduate of the last, say, 2 years, I would suggest that you move education to directly below projects and above work experience. The reason why is because you want to show the recruiter what you've been doing during that time, and if there was a big gap there between now and what your work experience was, that's going to, that's could be a red flag for him. So if we immediately show your education was, your most recent work experience, then that's going to resolve the question. Keep in mind that when a typical recruiter is looking at your resume, and they're only going to spend about 6 seconds on it, and this was actually validated by the job board, The Ladder, several years ago when they videotaped the eye movement of recruiters. And what they found was that the typical recruiter is only spending about 6 seconds on the resume, and they're going to be spending the most part of the resume in the upper part of it.